been a really long time since I've done one of these videos. So I wanted to jump on and just speak to some pieces that are coming through, and also in light of the course that I've just launched, Church of Magdalene. It's a 7-week initiation into the feminine Christ. And so naturally I'm kind of feeling the different pieces and layers of this work, what I'm going to be transmitting, and really what this course is offering. So one of the major pieces that I'm going to be bringing through in Church of Magdalene is we're going to start with collapsing this paradigm of fixing ourselves. This kind of self-development, spirituality matrix of, one day if I can just heal myself enough and heal all my wounds, then life can be perfect and I can finally feel fulfilled and love myself. But until then, I'm this kind of never-ending project. And I see such distortion in that. And in my personal experience, and in the experience of many women that I've spoken to, this way of seeing ourselves is extremely fragmenting to the soul. And it creates this kind of constant underlying resistance. I can't truly feel good about myself or my life because I'm not there yet. I'm not who I'm meant to be, or I still have these insecurities. I still feel so much discomfort in everyday life. And we really make that a problem. And we see it as something to, poke at and pick at. And it doesn't help. It is not the frequency of what healing truly is. So in the Church of Magdalene, we're really going to be looking at this paradigm, and we're going to collapse it. We're going to collapse this veil of duality that we place on ourselves, where it's like, I'm either worthy or I'm unworthy. I'm either healing and feeling good, or I'm suffering and I'm failing. And we're going to be opening the body through the feminine arts to the place inside you where wholeness already exists. And through the feminine mysteries, what we find is that any emotion, any state that we find ourselves in, any sensation that we're experiencing in the body, whether it's uncomfortable or painful, whether it's ecstatic and pleasurable, it's a gateway, it's a doorway to wholeness that's already there. So we don't have to process and clear and trying to analyze, where did this come from? Why is this here? This is a completely different angle that we're coming at. And so I'm going to be teaching you how to use those pathways through the body to open your senses, your felt experience to the place where wholeness can realign itself in the body. And if I was going to try and intellectualize that, and I don't want to too much, is that we're really opening the body to the true innocence of every feeling, state, sensation that you might find yourself in. So we're opening the heart to the innocence of that. We're dissolving this judgment, this resistance. You know, so often what I hear is, you know, I thought I'd healed this, or, you know, why can't I just feel good? You know, I'm stuck, which then creates this kind of judgment of I'm failing. And through the feminine arts, what you learn is that every single spectrum of aliveness, every single shade of emotion is a gateway to wholeness, is a gateway to the divine. And we don't fix anything to get there. We don't force ourselves to shift or pivot. We actually open the body and soften into whatever the truth is. We're finding wholeness through the isness of the truth of what is, which is your in the moment, felt, direct experience. And something that I've found to be very true in myself and others is that when we step away from this paradigm of I'm healing and fixing myself and repairing my wounds, we stop being in resistance to our truth. We stop putting this pressure on ourselves to feel differently, to show up differently in life. We let go of holding ourselves to this impossible standard, which doesn't actually create any more joy or aliveness. Like I said, it fragments us from ourselves. And we've really lost the technology of learning to be with and ride the truth of what is, which could be grief, which could be anger, which could be shame, which could be pleasure. And no matter what it is that you're holding in your body, no matter how dense or heavy or sticky it feels, just by opening and softening into that, we arrive at the place inside that was already whole, that was always whole. And so then we start to realign our consciousness and our body to know and trust that wholeness is always here. If only you stop resisting the truth of what is, which, like I said, isn't how I should be feeling, what I should be experiencing, how I want to feel. The truth of what is actually happening for you. And I can't begin to explain how much liberation and soulful expression emerges from that place, from that attitude with ourselves. So I'm going to be teaching these pathways into the body through these feminine embodiment practices, so that you no longer have to see yourself as a broken, never-ending self-development project. Which, by the way, when we maintain that paradigm with ourselves, it never finishes. Because we're always going to experience discomfort, heaviness, insecurities, heartbreak. That's just the nature of existence. And the more we fight that, the harder life gets, the more we start to judge ourselves. And the most freeing, liberating thing for the soul is to be with life as it arises. That to me is the essence of true self-love, is the art of meeting ourselves as we are. And for me personally, that's been the place where I will touch the divine, God, the mystery. It's never been through willing myself and processing myself so that I can feel something different. So if I'm speaking to you, if you're feeling yourself in this transmission and invitation, then Church of Magdalene is most likely going to be your medicine and a very important essence of your soul. So you can find out more about Church of Magdalene through the link in my bio. We start on the 26th of August. And there's some really, really beautiful women saying yes to the journey. And I can already feel the potency and the depth that we're going to go to in this 7 weeks. Thank you for listening. Big love.